Test, 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 testing the on. All right. What's up, guys? This is Jake here at Still Athletic, and we are excited to bring you another episode of Scotch and Stocks. In case you don't know what Scotch and Stocks is, we basically talk about companies that you may or may not have heard of, and we just try to give our best objective opinion or objective facts of what these companies are about and what they offer. So it may not be your big time company you may have heard of, maybe a little bit smaller, but hopefully you can learn something. So again, just for the record, not financial advice, we're just here to educate and teach as best we can. So Luca, how we doing? Finally we get to do this after
though, don't sue me, bro, basically is what Jake is saying. So but yeah, no, I'm actually really stoked. I mean, that's basically what that means. But no, I'm actually really gassed to do this again. I've been waiting, like, it's been like really long time. It's been like 4 months.
That's a good start.
What's the score? I can't tell anymore.
Cheers. Fictitious clink.
All right, cheers, mate.
So the company, I've told you about this company now for a while.
All right.
You know, forewarning, I do have some shares of this company, so just that's full disclosure. But the thing is, though, is the reason why I have invested in this company, and I'm just going to try and show you, because I really do think this company has some promise, has some potential, especially in the new cutting edge technology area. So the company is Mechanical Technology Incorporated. They just got added to the NASDAQ not too long ago, actually. Their ticker is MKTY. Mechanical Technology, they're a very small cap company right now. I think they're around 100 million, like 80 to 100 million is their market cap. So really, it is a smaller company, like in retrospect compared to a lot of other companies, right? But the thing is, though, is it's actually been around for a long time. So in fact, it's been around since 1961. I don't know if you knew that.
Wow.
It was actually created by two engineers who actually left GE because they wanted to go and do their own thing. So they left GE back in the 60s, and then they came and they started Mechanical Technology Incorporated. Really well known, but some of the big players they've been with, they've been with all the big guns, if that makes sense.
Right,
So
I can see that. Yeah, well, I feel like that's kind of how it works with these I mean, the name, it's not exactly a sexy name,
right?
Like Mechanical Technologies Incorporated. So I mean, they're not exactly trying to be, super into the limelight.
Right.
So I think that's the whole point, is being behind the scenes and just plugging along as they can. But if you look at the chart, though, it's kind of interesting to look at how, like, the max.
Yeah.
If you look at the max, it's because it started in for 1981.
Yeah.
They IPO'd at 1050. But the thing is, as it was going into the 80s, it popped up to right at 20 basically.
Yeah.
And then it came crashing down in the 90s, and at 94 it was 25 cents.
right, and
So,
it's
that's
basically
rough.
been
But then
stuck there for a long time.
it goes up and then down, up, down, up, down. Yeah. It's interesting to look at it because from 2009 to 2020,
Yeah,
it was $1
Yeah.
for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it shot up 960%.
yeah. Especially especially if you talk back at the beginning of this year, 2021, with a big crypto boom, when everything was just going absolutely mad, when Bitcoin went off, Dogecoin, all those went on that huge long tear. Anything that sniffed or sounded related to crypto or cryptocurrency just kind of went along with the ride. So, and that's the thing is
I agree.
you look at MKTY and you go, how the hell is this have anything to do with crypto? Because it's dealing with energy efficient turbine machinery and so the thing is, though, is that they're actually two companies.
Say what?
Say what?
Say what?
The first thing is, so it has two lines of business, okay? So its first one is what it's called MTI Instruments. So it's like Mechanical Technology Inc. Instruments. So that was their original subsidiary, is that MTI, working in manufacturing of precision tools, equipment, and so that industry works with semiconductors, aviation, military, industrial, materials manufacturing. Actually, most recently, I think I mentioned this to you, they landed like a multi-million-dollar contract with the U.S. Air Force.
Jeez,
Yeah.
they're stoked.
The big thing though, and this is the reason why I'm invested in it primarily. So you do get that MTI Instruments still tacked on with it, right? Time out, let me make sure this is still rolling.
What's the score? I can't tell anymore.
So big thing is like when you put your money into MKTY, you do get their one line of business, which is MTI Instruments, with that semiconductor and whatnot. The newer line of business that MKTY started, and I think it has to do with the new CEO, is called EcoChain. So EcoChain is their cryptocurrency. So they actually do crypto mining. So much like the bigger companies here, like Riot Blockchain or Marathon Holdings. So they actually do crypto mining as well, whether it be Bitcoin, I believe Litecoin as well. I don't remember all the specifics of which coins they do, but I know for sure they do mine Bitcoin. But even more so is they work in cryptocurrency mining, but they're doing it using clean energy. And I know you love that word.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
God.
Because I remember, like you and I had that conversation. Was it Mr. Wonderful talking about the clean energy thing or whatever? Was that a couple months ago?
Yeah, that was months and months ago, which was
Yeah.
outrageous. I can't believe that he pulled that off. But like the thing, yeah, for those that don't know, basically Mr. Wonderful pretty much called it. He was like, all right, hey, in the next coming months, no one at the top cares about Bitcoin unless it's used in like clean places.
Institutions will not buy coin mined in China, coin mined using coal to burn for electricity. And I see over the next year or two kinds of coin. Blood coin from China, clean coin mined sustainably in countries that use hydroelectricity.
The thing is now this company is clean, which, what do they have, water wheels or what do they use?
So it's funny, like you say that.
So began my love affair with water.
But here's the thing with EcoChain, okay? And this is why I think this has some promise. One, they've already been doing this now for a few years. Two, we'll call it a partnership, but essentially MKTY invested $500,000 into this company called Soluna. So remember, MKTY, you get EcoChain. So essentially EcoChain invested money into Soluna. So the question is, okay, what is Soluna? Soluna is essentially one aspect of their green and clean energy, okay? It's wind power. So Soluna Technologies has a wind farm in Morocco that they were building, I think, a couple years ago now, like 2018 or something like that. And the reason they picked Morocco, that region of Morocco, is apparently it's one of the world's windiest regions. So by basically,
It's a good place to do it.
Exactly. So by picking one of the world's windiest regions, you can essentially help power the blockchain in a more eco-friendly, more sustainable way, as they kind of phrase it. So you're avoiding the use of coal or gas or anything like that in an effort to help mine the crypto, so it's more of a clean Bitcoin versus a dirty coin kind of thing. So
Dirty coin. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, especially if you have the infrastructure to do it, it just seems like everyone is going out of their way now. That's what bothers me about it. Like, obviously, I'm all for renewable energy. That's fucking great. But the thing is that it just seemed like everyone just turned really quickly out of nowhere. And it was like, it just
it's like the hybrid car thing, right?
fake.
Or like everybody all of a sudden has an electric car. I'm like, really? Ford and
Yeah,
all
it's
of
like,
them?
whoa.
Like,
It's like, okay.
They're like, oh, our new electric car. I'm like, really? You had the tech. You just didn't want to do it.
You're just copying, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to, like, come on, man. This is fake.
Exactly.
So that's what bothers. It's not so much the actual act of using. Yeah, it's just the fact that it's like, oh my God, yay.
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We have technology!
It's like,
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
okay.
So
Yeah,
that's-
no one cared about this at all
Right.
for the longest time. And then all of a sudden now it's like, woo.
What's the score? I can't tell anymore.
And I think that's the big thing for me is like mechanical technology is already solving this supposed issue because they have the wind farm, like the wind capabilities down.
Yeah, if you have the infrastructure, that's
Yeah.
sick. If they have the infrastructure, that's outrageous.
And I think
they're like they're a decade ahead of everyone.
Right, and so their end of the year goal, I believe, is 50 megawatts in terms of power outage, which, again, I'm not the most knowledgeable in the crypto world, but to my understanding is if they are able to hit this target of being able to mine using 50 megawatts worth of electricity, because that's basically the essential name of the game when you're talking crypto mining. It's not so much how much you can mine, it's how much energy you're using, because essentially it's kind of canceling out. So they actually have one of the lowest rates in terms of the electricity usage compared to all these big guns. So if they hit this target that they're shooting for, because again, they have the deal down in Morocco, but also they have a hydropower mining rig essentially, or like they already have a setup. Their infrastructure is already set up for hydropower up in Washington State.
That's kind of sick.
So they're mining the crypto via wind. They're mining it via hydro or water. So they are essentially already kind of along those lines, that green, clean energy. They're already doing it. The problem is that they're just a very small company. Here's another thing why I think it's a great play. Last year, fiscal year, okay, they reported the highest revenue in 9 years and 500% annual increase in net income.
Where did that come from?
Okay, so here's the thing. So I knew that was the question you're going to ask, right? Because you're wondering, well, how the hell did they make that much money? So fiscal year ended. Fiscal year ended in 2020. Their net income was $1.9 million, which represents a year-over-year increase of about 500% over 2019. Their product revenue ended 2020. It was $9 million in the black. And really, I do think the main reason for that huge gain is the addition of EcoChain. And I think for that reason, it
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
contributed favorably to its performance in terms of you're looking at strict reports, the quarterly reports and end of year reports. So I really do think, dependent on where Bitcoin goes, I really do think it has a chance to do some good stuff, and hell, if you put your money in, you might get a pretty profitable return on it. So
Some serious stuff. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's one of the reasons why I think the forecast for the future for this company seems pretty promising. The con to that is it really is dependent on what people's sentiment is over cryptocurrency. So unfortunately, So unfortunately, Bitcoin kind of runs the market. So it kind of everything.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So that's one of the big issues is dependent on what you think of Bitcoin, that's going to kind of change your opinion of this company. But the thing is though, is it's like I said, you're getting 2 for 1. So you may not necessarily believe in the crypto part, but you're like, hey, you know what? It is new tech. Maybe they have something there. But they also do have this very substantial track record of working in semiconductors, aviation, and whatnot, which they're still doing pretty well. And like as I said, they have still landing contracts, particularly with the federal government.
What's the score? I can't tell anymore.
Like if you're looking at the pros, you're essentially getting 2 companies in one. Them being on the edge of new technology with crypto mining and cryptocurrency, you doing it in that clean and green way with wind and hydro power, and they've already are continuing with that. And then also the stock price being pretty affordable. The cons of this company is it is relatively unknown. As I said, you had no idea when I told you about it.
I had no clue what this was. Especially the name too. Talk about the most unsexy name I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah. That's my biggest con about everything that you said is just the name itself, just Mechanical Technologies Incorporated.
Yeah, no, it is the most boring name ever. It is not a very cool name. But then and that's the thing too, is that people I've floated on the internet and people will go, how on earth does this have anything to do with cryptocurrency? Because they look at the name, because they look at the name that's on the NASDAQ, and you see MKTY Mechanical Technology. Like, how the hell does that have anything to do with crypto? There's no obvious way of them addressing that. It's EcoChain. Like their subsidiary or their other line of business, EcoChain, that's what you're investing in if you're trying to get into the crypto area. So that's definitely one of the fallbacks of this. The other thing, as you kind of alluded to as well, they have horrendous PR. Like,
Yeah.
so
Oh my
I feel
God.
like, and it's not a knock on them, but maybe they're just focusing on themselves right now. So maybe this is just me talking out of my rear end. Like they're just focusing like, hey,
They're going to therapy. They're getting sleep. They're getting 8 hours a day. Like they're focusing on themselves
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Okay? Like
yes, they're trying to focus on themselves.
What? Nothing.
If you look at the general volume, like if you look at any sort of chart with them, their volume for the most part, it maybe will hit 100,000 in a day. Like it is like I think the last couple days, like the
it's
running
pretty
average has been about
garbage.
50K. Like it is extremely low. You see a couple giant spikes, and that may just be some bigger players putting some money in, or maybe some insiders trying to buy up some shares and trying to accumulate a little bit. Those low volume stocks or those low volume
Right.
companies, you really have to be mindful of it because it could jump like that. And jump back down just as quick. But I mean, the thing is, like right now, if you look
Yeah.
at the chart, I mean, it did have that huge spike, and then for the last few months, it's just been trading sideways. And it's just been going and going and going.
What's the score? I can't tell anymore.
And I will say this though, days where the bigger crypto mining companies take a huge hit, like if it's like intraday trading and it drops like 5-10%, they kind of just chill. Like they will go down as well, but it might be like 1 to 2%. Or like if they trade up, it's the same thing. Like they're a little more stable. And I think that another reason to that is a lot of the, or I shouldn't say a lot of, but to my
Right.
knowledge, Riot, as far as their bottom line, they hold on to some of the Bitcoin as an asset. Kind of like with Tesla, what they're doing is holding the Bitcoin on as an asset. So the issue with that is that they get much bigger price swings because of that.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yep.
So because of it being an asset, obviously the price of Bitcoin is going to fluctuate the stock price, especially a couple months ago.
Makes sense.
Riot particularly, I mean, it was like almost verbatim the exact same chart as Bitcoin. Like it was almost kind of eerie. But
Yeah, I
compared
can
to
see that.
mechanical technology, they don't use it as an asset. So as soon as they mine it, they sell it. So because of that, you don't have necessarily as much volatility. So I know the stock, like the volume is low.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
And now for something completely different.
I do think the CEO, so the CEO, just for context, his name is Michael Toporek. He's been with the company now for a couple years. He's also the founder of Soluna Technologies as well. So, and he's been in big business for a while. He's been, like, this isn't his first show that he's been running. So, he's definitely a good person to have at the helm, at least from when I've seen him talk in some of the investor meetings. So I really do think he has a direction. The board all has some sort of background in, or at least a good chunk of them, to my understanding, has a good understanding and previous experience in cryptocurrency or blockchain technology. So it's not like they're just going in head first and have no idea what they're doing. Like they do have people that have a previous experience and know the direction of where blockchain needs to go for it to continue to thrive. So my forecast for it myself, I'm pretty bullish. I think the future might be pretty promising. And at $7 a share, there certainly are more expensive companies out there. The upside seems pretty good.
Bitches.